now, live from Dilworth Neighborhood Grill, it's CSL, Charlotte Sports Live, the Roaring Riot Draft Party.
With the 8th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select J.C. Horn.
And just like that, the Panthers take the first defensive player in this year's draft. J.C. Horn, welcome to North Carolina. We are live from the Roaring Riot Draft Party at Dilworth Neighborhood Grill. The fans are here. The fans are revved up. The fans are shocked, but they are ready to go, and so are we. Welcome inside Charlotte Sports Live, the first show with live fans in attendance. Will Kunkel, Joe Morano, we got Al Wallace here as well, and what a show we got tonight, brother.
I tell you, I'm ready to go, and this is a long time coming. We got to see a sporting event, off-field sporting event, with people in attendance, though, Will. It was great to see, right?
Yeah, and we got an awesome show tonight for you. Shaq Thompson, the captain of the Panthers, is on the show. I went one-on-one with him right after the Panthers made their selection, and wait until you hear his reaction, and we're going to get reaction from Matt Rule and Scott Fitterer as well. But let's introduce you to the 8th overall pick of this year's NFL draft right now, because a little bit of a surprise, I would say, and it is nice for J.C. Horn as he can just come up I-77 to the North Carolina. Now, the Panthers spent their 8th overall pick by addressing their secondary needs, taking the South Carolina cornerback pick, and frankly, I was shocked that they went corner so early, Joe.
That is something I am in full agreement with right there. Just we all sort of knew that the offensive line is an issue that needs to be addressed. We kept hearing the name Penei Sewell. He went early, but we also heard about Rashawn Slater, your boy from Northwestern, that a guy who's very NFL ready, and I certainly thought that that was going to happen. But, hey, J.C. Horn is the pick. You try and shore up the defense. Let's take a look at J.C. Horn on paper right there. 6'1", 205 pounds with plenty of all SEC honors there. A 4.3 40 time at his pro day. 41.5 vertical, 23 pass breakups, 101 total tackles, 3 sacks, and 2 picks in his 30-game career as a Gamecock, Will.
Listen, this dude's an absolute stud, but I think they may have reached just a little bit. So now let's talk to a guy that went undrafted. All three of us went undrafted, Al.
We have something in common, yeah.
Al Wallace, former Panther and Eagles 7-year vet. What's this night like for you, first of all, as an undrafted guy?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little painful watching these guys get drafted. I was undrafted, $5,000 signing bonus. These guys will get much more money than I got, but it's fun to start the season.
And your reaction when Horn was taken, I watched you because I was on talking to Shaq at the time. Your body language was surprised?
I was surprised because I think offensive line was the biggest need that the Panthers have. And I thought if they were going to pick Horn, who's the best defensive back in the draft, that they're going to go backwards and get him. They were going to slide back a little bit and pick him up.
You do feel that Horn was the better option over Surtain out of Alabama? A lot of hype around that name.
I think he is more twitchy. I think he's more athletic. Certainly a faster defensive back. So I think the talent is a little gap, not big, but definitely better than Patrick Surtain.
And we got to talk about the fact that Justin Fields was on the board and what it says about Sam Darnold and what the Panthers think about Sam Darnold and Justin Fields.
Yeah, that tells me the evaluation process, this coaching staff, the scouts decided that, Justin Fields didn't match up to Sam Darnold, that Sam Darnold was going to be the better prospect, the guy that was going to give them the better opportunity to win this season.
I got to know what you think that this team needs to do now tomorrow night, because we've got the second and third round, 1 pick each for Carolina coming up then. So what do you want to see Friday night as you're watching?
Did we mention offensive line? They need to get a big guy. I'm a big guy. It starts with the offensive line. Yeah. They have to find some offensive line help to protect Sam Darnold in this offense, to give him the opportunity to connect with these weapons.
So I assume Darisaw, the kid out of Virginia Tech, if he's still there, I mean, he's kind of fallen right now, or the Oklahoma State young man who is an absolute monster.
Yeah, I think either of those guys. Darisaw is more athletic, and the Oklahoma State kid is just the guy I didn't want to play with. He's just nasty, just dirty, and I think he's going to set the tone. If the Panthers are able to bring that type of football player into their organization, that would be a good foundation.
All right, well, we obviously have all the answers, or at least we think we do, We also talked to Scott Fitterer, the new GM, his first round with the Carolina Panthers doing a draft, and Matt Rule as well. Here's what they had to say tonight.
His man cover ability, his quickness, the feistiness of him as a player, his ability to mirror and turn and run with the receivers, and that's he's the exact fit that Coach Snow wants on our defense. We just saw the best fit with him.
So it's been an issue we tried to address in free agency. I think in the NFC South with the big receivers we have to deal with. This is a young man in JC who, his dad was an NFL player, a great NFL player. He's grown up with it his whole life. He's played at the highest level. He's got 33-inch arms. He's 6'1", whatever he is. Ran 4.3, jumped 42 inches. I mean, he's a rare physical specimen who also has the pedigree that's hard to find.
It means a lot. There's a lot of work put behind it. A lot of people mentoring me, helping mold me to get to this moment. And like you said, just being able to stay close to home and close to South Carolina, and I'm still in the Carolinas. It's just a blessing all around.
All right, let's now get to our sexy social media man, Brian Blakely. Brian, what's social media saying on this?
I don't know. I'm still kind of reeling from what you just said right there. But hey, tell you what, some of the league's best were showing the Panthers' first pick. They're showing him some love tonight on Twitter. Check this one out from Shaq Thompson, who's there with you guys tonight. He tweeted out, "Let's go, J.C. Horn." And one of the league's best corners, Jalen Ramsey from the Rams, tweeting CB1. Yes, sir. Congrats to our buddy J.C. Horn right there. And then even Chad Ochocinco weighed in on the Panthers pick tonight, tweeting J.C. Horn like that with a big fire emoji. And that's some pretty big praise for the Panthers' newest member tonight, coming from some pretty big football players. Let's toss it back to you guys and Joe Morano, who's among the fans there at the Roaring Riot draft party. Joe.
There you have it, guys. J.C. Horn, the Panthers, helping out the defense, picking the player out of South Carolina, trying to help out the secondary. I'm here with Christian right now, and I got to know your thoughts on the pick. Are you surprised they went defense instead of offense?
Now, I knew when they picked Pitts, when Atlanta picked Pitts, we would go defense. Defense wins football games. Offense tells you about how much, all right? And like I said, when Atlanta went with Pitts, I really felt like that's where we were going to go. Horn was the best guy out there at corner, going to help our defense out. And Panthers have always been about defense and winning football games, and I think it was a great pick. I'm super happy with it.
What's your take, though? We kept hearing about Sewell or Slater trying to help out the offensive line now that you got Sam Darnold there.
Well, those are things that we definitely need, but I feel like quality offensive linemen are going to be there in the second and third round. You can get offensive linemen undrafted free agents and not pay them until they come to camp, man. There's all kind of offensive linemen out there that can help us out. You can't pass up on a guy like Horn. That guy is quality. He's a good pick.
You're ready for that? So you're ready? You think these guys are going to be competitors in the South, especially against those guys like Atlanta, who I know you love so much?
Yeah, I really feel like the South is ready for some change, Tampa Bay is probably still going to be the guy we got to really fight with, but I feel like we are in contention for the title of the conference this year, the division this year. I think we're going to be all right.
All right, we got somebody here happy with J.C. Horn as the pick. Very happy.
Oh, man. He was one of the most sought-after prospects in the 2015 draft, and he's ready to welcome all the new Panthers into the den. Captain and linebacker Shaq Thompson will be here in just a little bit. Plus, one of the biggest headlines of the night has nothing to do with the draft, but Aaron Rodgers wants out of Green Bay. Where could he land? We're going to discuss that coming up in just a little bit on CSL, plus more reaction to the NFL draft from right here at the Roaring Riot Draft Party Tailgate Show. Dilworth Neighborhood Grill's getting weird, and this is Charlotte Sports Live, baby. The fans have flocked to the CSL stage here at Dilworth Neighborhood Grill. They're having over the JC. Excuse me, they're raving, and I'm emotional over the J.C. Horn pick. Let's go to Joe Morano, who has more with the fans here at the Roaring Riot Draft Party.
There's the pick, J.C. Horn. It's not an offensive lineman, it's not a quarterback, and it's not a trade. It's helping out the defense. I'm with Tom Simmons right now. Tom, got to know your thoughts on this pick for the Panthers.
It was a shock. I was really thinking offensive lineman. Then I thought, well, maybe we can get this quarterback. But then when they came up with Horn, I thought, what a shot that is. I mean, Horn is one of the best cornerbacks in college. So he can help our defense. And our defense is what wins games for us. We've done that over the last 25 years with defense. We can pick up some offensive linemen in the second and third round, fourth round. I'm just really thrilled with this. I think Horn is going to make us a better defensive team.
And you like him over someone like Surtain in Alabama that everyone was hyping up?
I was looking at Surtain, but Horn. I love Horn. I think it's a great pick. I think it's a good pick. And I think it's going to make us a better team.
All right. Then how big of a Panther fan are you?
I have been a Panther fan for 25 years. Never missed a home game.
Love that goatee right there, everyone. All right. That's some fandom for you this evening.
Go Panthers.
Oh, my gosh. Thank you, Joe. You've seen this before, but here's a reminder of what the Panthers are working with now that the first round pick is in the rearview mirror. We're focused on pick 39 in round 2. After that, it's pick 73 in round 3, and then they got picks in round 4 and round 5. And now with the Teddy trade, 3 picks in round 6. They can get anybody to hold any clipboard in that round, adding 191 to the 2 they had at 193 and 222. But now let's bring in one of the dudes that we had on the show just like a couple hours ago, it feels like, Josh
That's
Klein
right.
of the
That's
Riot
right.
Report. Josh, your initial thoughts when you saw Horn taken?
Well, I think that the Carolina Panthers, we knew that they loved J.C. Horn heading into this draft, and we knew that they also wanted to trade down. So, obviously, they took all 9 minutes and 55 seconds of that 10-minute allotment, and they didn't like the trade offers that came in. You know, you saw Chicago come up for the 11th pick, but they didn't want to go down that far. They had 16 first-round picks. They wanted to get a guy that was in that first-round range, and what they did was they filled a hole at cornerback, huge need for them, and their number one guy at that position on the board. Huge move for them, and somebody that they hope can shut down that half of the field for the next decade across from Dante Jackson this year, but for the next decade to come.
Okay, so that's the next question. So did Dante Jackson just fall out of a starting spot, Al?
I think so. I think he becomes the third option with A.J. Boye. Now, it determines how healthy A.J. is. He hasn't been healthy the last couple of seasons, but when he's good, he's really good. He's a shutdown corner himself.
Oh, yeah. When he's good, absolutely.
Yeah.
Healthy, when he's good, he's really good.
2 years ago, never in a million years did we think Dante Jackson could be the third corner on this team.
Yeah.
It shows you that this defense has been built pretty well very quickly, and maybe that's because they haven't selected an offensive player under Matt Rule ever. 8 straight defensive guys taken.
Matt Rule does not select offensive players. Book it right now. 7 for 7, 8 for 8, going along 2021 draft. All defense. I'm just kidding. They're drafting an offensive lineman in the next round.
Are they?
I think they absolutely have to. I think that's the biggest given. I think the question mark was here in this first round. Second round, I think they're going to come back around. This is a super deep offensive line class. And Alex Leatherwood went off in the first round, which is a little bit surprising. But I think when you look at guys that are still going to be available, whether it's Liam Eichenberg or somebody else that they really, really like, they're going to find a quality tackle at that second-round pick, number 39.
All right, Scott Fitterer said these are the guys that they have got to tackle, at least from a position standpoint. So let's take a look at that so we can kind of have a guide, if you will, or a treasure map. Cornerback, check. That is done, like Josh said. Hopefully the guy is Horn for the next 10 years. But offensive tackle and wide receiver, I think they attack wide receiver later in the draft, also a very deep position. But at offensive tackle, do you think they need to be aggressive, Al, and make a trade to come up a little bit in order to get their guy?
I think so. If Darisaw, somebody like that is still there, be aggressive. You know, trade a couple of picks, use some of those assets, move up, make sure you get the guy you want. And Darisaw is a really good guy out of Virginia Tech. They can build on that line. They brought some pieces in, but I think you still need to continue to build some depth on the line.
So that's why I think that the Panthers should have traded back if they wanted to get Horn. You could trade back just a little bit, a spot or two, and then you're in really good position.
But it's really easy to say they should have traded back. But when you look at who went, Patrick Surtain went at 9. The Cowboys were in the market for a corner, so you got to think Horn and Surtain might not have even been there had they traded back, even as far as 11. So then you're looking at, okay, are we taking the second best tackle on the board? Are we going to go to another position? They wanted their number one corner. They went out and got him. I like the pick. As long as Justin Fields is not absolutely spectacular, I think everyone is going to really like this pick for years to come.
Very, very quick question, very quick answer.
Why am I wearing shorts? I get it.
No, that is not it. When they said that Horn was their number one guy on the board, was that like at the moment you think? Because there's no way Horn was their number one guy on the board overall.
No, I mean, obviously I think Kyle Pitts, Trevor Lawrence, but number one corner on the board.
Like, you had Sewell over him, right? I mean, they had to.
I think so, but Sewell was already gone. That's the thing is we can't cry over spilled milk when it comes to the draft. We can't cry. They could have traded down. We don't know what the picks were. They got to make those moves. They got a guy that they coveted in J.C. Horn. I like the pick. I like the pick.
Well, they're sticking with Sam Darnold. That's also very interesting. Maybe we get to that later. But another quarterback wants out where he is. Apparently, Aaron Rodgers wants out of Green Bay. Al, when you saw that news, you were like, what?
I wasn't surprised. Aaron Rodgers has been telling you this probably for 2 years that he wants out of Green Bay. He's unhappy, and I think the news today comes out. It's good timing by Aaron Rodgers. He kind of throws that out in the draft. One more thing the Green Bay Packers have to think about today.
All right, we got a lot more coming up here on Charlotte Sports Live tonight, so I don't need you to move, and you don't need to move. So just go to the bathroom on your couch right now. You've waited all night for this. Me and Shaq, we go one-on-one, mano-a-mano. Wait till you see what he thinks of the picks and what we got to do in the second round. Josh Klein says goodnight, everybody, by the way. We'll be right back.
All right, good night.
Hey, we are live out here in Dilworth for CSL now, but we're back on the road Tuesday for the Charlotte Knights opening night. It's an all-day affair, though, all right, for the start of AAA baseball. Good Day Charlotte's going to be out there from Truist Field in the morning. Catch them throughout the AM, and then after the game, Charlotte Sports Live takes over, buddy. It's an all-night affair. Get it? May 4th on Fox 46 Charlotte.
Now joining us here on CSL on draft night, it is the captain of your Carolina Panthers, Shaq Thompson. Shaq, first of all, what were you doing when the Panthers made their pick at 8th overall, man?
Man, I was sitting down eating with my lady. We were just watching it, how all the offensive players went first. Then we got up. I was just sitting there waiting. We were just sitting there waiting, and boom, the pick was in, J.C. Horn. Excited for him.
I mean, your head coach, Matt Rule, he has never, ever, ever taken an offensive player. Did you realize that? Does that make you happy as a defensive guy?
Yeah, man, defense wins championships, and, man, I think he's a key piece to what we need to get better with, and especially our passing game. And him, Dante, and A.J. Bouye, man, he's going to come in here and get to learn from both of them, and hopefully go out there and become his own player, be special for this team.
What did you think was going to happen going into the draft? You had to have watched or seen something and had an idea. What did you think that the Panthers were going to do?
Honestly, I didn't watch nothing. I kind of just started paying attention to the draft when it got kind of like the week of. I mean, I got kids now, so like all my attention is like on my kids, and the TV is always on what they want to watch because they never want to watch what we want to watch. So I'm just paying attention to my kids, and I didn't know what they were going to do. I felt like with the offseason moves that they made, they could have went either in whichever way they wanted to.
So now do they go defense again? What do you think they do in the second round tomorrow?
I think you go offense. You might get an offensive tackle, or if you get, I got a decent quarterback in there, you go get him. But I think you go offensive line to build that line but you're always going to need an offensive line. You're going to need depth there, and I don't see why not.
Have you talked to Sam yet?
Yeah. Me and Sam, and a couple of us went golfing. Coach Rule, we went golfing, and that's kind of how we met at dinner and stuff like that. So I kind of knew of Sam just from playing in the Pac-12 and just being a fan of him and just watching him.
All right, Shaq, my man, I'll let you get to bed. Take care of the kids. We appreciate you popping on CSL on draft night, buddy.
Appreciate that. Well, have a good one, brother.
All right, stick around. We're about to preview day 2 of the NFL draft as we are live here at Dilworth Neighborhood Grill.
Hey, it's been a great night on CSL here at Dilworth, but tomorrow, or this weekend coming up, is America's crew chief. Larry McReynolds is here Saturday to help you get ready for the Bushy McBush Race 400 in Kansas. Yes, that's the actual name, and we'll address it. Sunday, Al is back with us with former Colts tight end Charles Arbuckle. Next week, we'll also have Carolina Hurricanes reporter Abby Labar before the home stretch of the NHL season there.
All right, I want to mention that Travis Etienne of the Clemson Tigers is going to be joining and maybe rooming with Trevor Lawrence as the Jaguars picked him. But I want to talk about Justin Fields and the fact that the Panthers passed on him to stick with Sam Darnold. What does that say?
I just think they valued Sam Darnold a lot higher. And that doesn't mean Justin Fields is not going to be a good pro. I think it's a lot to be seen. We've seen this before with Patrick Mahomes. So I say buckle up, Chicago. You got a good one.
What's your final takeaway, Joe?
I think May 3rd is Monday. That's the deadline to pick up that fifth-year option on Sam Darnold. We'll probably see that happen pretty soon.
That's a really good point. Now, Panthers, go out, do what you got to do, and get the best tackle on the board. And if they do that, Al, this is an A+, at least an A draft, yeah?
Get excited. It's an A so far. J.C. Horn's a good one.
All right, that's awesome. For Al Wallace, Josh Klein, Joe Morano, I'm Will Kunkel live from Dilworth Neighborhood Grill. You guys have a safe, pleasant, and blessed night. Charlotte Sports Live. Let's go.